Hello, 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 hello. How's it going, people? Welcome to the stream. Welcome. 7th of June. It's the 7th of June. 1 week. 1 week, pretty much. Transfer window has been opened, and finally, Arsenal are looking to make a signing. However, nothing too much to be excited about in terms of the new signing. I'm just going to put it that way because it's just a backup goalkeeper. We're going to deep dive into this and we're going to talk about it, of course. There are also some sort of news regarding Bukayo Saka, Declan Rice, because they didn't take part in England game against Andorra, which they just won 1-0. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about more potential signings. Let's just put it that way. It looks like there could be a potential green path, open way for Arsenal to sign Rodrygo as well, which is kind of nice. I'm not gonna lie. At the same time, I'm not holding my breath, knowing this club and knowing this club's hierarchy, because, well, as always, we got genuinely promised Shangri-La, golden everything, golden castles, and in the end, we get a random shack outside in the suburban area. Basically, that's what it is regarding Arsenal. But obviously, at the end of the day, it is what it is. Arsenal fans and everything, we have to take this. We have to suffer through this. So I guess we will have to take it under the chin and see what gives. Because transfer window closes in 3 days, the first part. Then it again for a week it's closed, and then it opens up once again. But we're gonna talk about that a bit later on. But today, obviously, there's some news regarding Kudus, ironically enough. There are some other news here and there, so we definitely gotta tackle them. So before we get into all this stuff, if you could do me a favor, smash the like on the stream. It takes a second, helps the stream out, helps everyone around. Let's be real. And subscribe if you're new around here. Road to 1K is going strong, of course. And leave your thoughts down in the live chat so we can tackle them, we can discuss them, and we can go from there. Basically, that's what it is. But yeah, Arsenal's transfer news today basically are one of the big ones in terms of signing a goalkeeper. News came out today, genuinely a few hours ago. It's not like it came out like 65 days ago or 65 hours ago. It actually came out, and I kid you not, 4 or 5 hours ago. So that actually is the case. So we're going to look at this. And yes, Arsenal apparently are ready to sign Kepa as the secondary goalkeeper, as a backup goalkeeper. So definitely that is on one hand, actually a pretty damn good thing because we need a backup goalkeeper. Arguably, obviously, you could make arguments that money is wasted. You could make arguments that it's not the right move to make because we have about 5, 6, if not 7 goalkeepers in our youth system. Plus, Karl-Heinz is coming back, and nobody is taking those places. So that is a bit of an issue in that regard. But ultimately, at the end of the day, Kepa is Premier League proven. He does the things properly. Yes, there are questions about his saving ability and everything, but at the same time, 5 million is arguably nothing. Let's just put it that way. 5 million in terms of Arsenal is absolutely nothing, especially given that about a few months ago we wanted to spend 25 million on a backup goalkeeper. So in that regard, definitely it is absolutely cheap as chips. And it looks like it's going to be finalized and done very, very soon. And apparently he's ready to fight for his place. He's ready to fight actually with with Raya for the #1 spot and maybe for a place under the sun in the team, because this is hella weird and genuinely hella weird regarding the situation. But it kind of doesn't stop there. I'm not gonna lie, it kind of doesn't stop there because regarding Kepa, there are also talks about the fact that basically Kepa himself, Arsenal staff are long admirers, apparently. And this is not the first time his name has been raised in recruitment conversations. The player understands the existing hierarchy at Arsenal, that Raya, without shadow of a doubt, is the #1. But he is willing to fight for his place, which obviously at the end of the day is all you can wish for from a player. And to add on top of that, given the situation, the player actually could maybe raise the standards of David Raya actually also would be quite nice. Premier League proven. For a change, it's not a cup-type goalkeeper like Norberto Neto, and let's be real, it is also an upgrade on Norberto Neto, in my opinion. He had a decent cameo in Bournemouth last season on loan as well, so it's not that bad. In Chelsea, he was a hit and miss, I'm not going to lie. Obviously, everyone remembers the incident with Sarri, with the substitution before the penalties and everything. If something like that happened at Arsenal, it would be very fun and interesting to see, to be honest, how Arteta would react, how the team would react, and everything. ultimately. But yeah, Kepa to Arsenal, like I know people have very mixed feelings as well. I have also on a certain level mixed feelings because this is a sixth or seventh. I think it's the seventh signing under Mikel Arteta we have signed from Chelsea or Man City altogether. And so in 33 signings, we have signed 7 Chelsea/City ex-players, which is generally more than 20%, which is way more than you would desire. Because if they're not good for Chelsea, who are battling top 4, and not City, who are going for the title, how can you imagine them being good enough for us to elevate our team to actually win the title? That is the only thing. But yeah, I guess it is what it is. Let's see what you're saying in the chat. Reject what say this club Chelsea reject. It is what it is. Make amends. 5 million is nothing. Let's be real. And of all the goalkeepers, only 5 million. I'm okay with that. At the end of the day, I'm genuinely okay with that. Just because we just wanted to spend 25 on Juan Garcia in that regard. Freaking Kepa, bro, another Chelsea reject. Like, he's not going to play anyways too much. Let's be real. Let's be real as well. Like, you have to take this also with an open mind, because the less we spend on these subpar players who are not going to play too much, the more money technically it leaves for us also for attacker signings. That is also the case. You kind of cannot look it through under one lens. You have to look it for multiple ways in multiple instances. And in this regard, I kind of am okay with this. I'm okay with this. If I'm being serious. Yeah, England scored 1 goal against, of course, against Andorra, 1-0 win. Like, that is not a great look because it's Andorra, but at the end of the day, win is a win. I guess you cannot kind of complain about that. Big up, Gavin. Big up. Hope you're doing well. Igor Paixão, we're going to look at Igor Paixão. Don't worry. He's from Feyenoord, Brazilian left wing. Van Keeps in one day can't sign striker in 6 years. If Gyökeres played for Chelsea, they would sign immediately. But that is the case. You kind of have to go with this. I guess with Arsenal, it's kind of annoying. And want to fight with Raya. Dude, bro is pushing. Who cares? Like, seriously, Marlon, who the hell cares? 5 million for a backup goalkeeper? Don't act like Raya is 12 years old or something. He's the next thing, best thing since sliced bread as well. Like, Raya is also not young. Raya is, I think, 27, if I'm not mistaken. And goalkeepers hit their prime as well, like around 29, and goes it up to 30, 33, 34. Raya is 29 even. Raya is 29. And Kepa at the moment is 30, so they are pretty much the same age. So there is no difference in that regard. So calm the fuck down, seriously. There's not too much to be over it. Yes, I get it. It's a Chelsea thing as well. It's on one point of view, it's another reject from Chelsea. At the same time, you wanted to spend 25 million on Juan Garcia, who would arguably create another Ramsdale-Raya situation. And it's pretty much evident that Mikel Arteta wants Raya as his number 1 goalkeeper, more or less. So at the end of the day, 5 million on a backup where a player actually understands his role and he takes a proper pay cut. I assume he would be about 800, I would say 80 to 100 grand a week. He will play about 12, 13 games. He will definitely play more. And generally, at the end of the day, it's decent business. I didn't say you want. I said in general. Calm down. Marlon, genuinely, Marlon, you are on your period sometimes, it feels like. To be honest, he wasn't that bad at Chelsea. He had questionable instances at Chelsea, but Chelsea also was a mess in general. So you cannot genuinely everything put on the goalkeeper. I know everyone, for example, at Man United slags off Onana, rightly so. Let's be real. But the defense also should help them out as well. Big up Mubarak, big up. Tell me about versus Liverpool. Third submitted or not yet? It is, and apparently it could be agreed upon very, very soon. I'm not gonna lie, in that regard. And Karasetsu, we are not signing. I don't think so. It's just a random link. All right, just saying no. Hey, it wasn't beefing. Just saying we always signed. I know that is the big thing. I understand why people get the hump in this regard, because we always sign the Chelsea or City rejects. That is the biggest thing. It's more the principle and this situation than anything. Because if we signed Kepa from Wolves for 5 million, right? Or we signed Kepa from Crystal Palace for 5 million, nobody would give a damn. Because Raya would be definitely number 1 guy and nobody would care. It's just more that it's just from Chelsea. And for me, Kepa actually isn't as bad as people want to make him to be. Yes, he has questionable decisions, questionable situations. He should save certain things. But overall, 5 million means nothing in this regard. 5 million is nothing too much to get your panties in a twist in regard of a backup goalkeeper. Because, as I said, I know you didn't want Juan Garcia. I totally get it. I get it and I understand. I know that. But many Arsenal fans were excited about 25 million for Juan Garcia. Like, that is also not serious business if you want only a backup goalkeeper. For me, Juan Garcia, since he's young, he's for the future and everything, more strikes me of a Ramsdale Reyes situation all over again. I'm going to be honest with you. So 5 million for Kepa, the somewhat decent salary, sitting on the bench, playing odd games here or there. I would assume he will play more than Neto 100% because Kepa is better than Neto. And in the cup games, in lesser games, maybe even in Premier League, putting Kepa in goal is not that detrimental to Arsenal overall, in my opinion. So overall, it's not a bad thing. Definitely not a bad signing. Kepa 5 million is decent backup. Exactly. Big up Andy. Big up Andy Granger. Big up. Definitely, it's not. I didn't. Why I'm getting? And you're not getting hate. You just say you're just so. It's more about the principle. Like sometimes, like I know that sometimes, especially if you talk about Arsenal, right? It's more like we have this tunnel vision and we have the history. We usually give our best players away to our rivals, Chelsea, City, what's his face, United, right? And we usually get their crap. That is more that plays the role in this situation. And I realize that emotions go high, but if you take a step back and look at the overall picture, it definitely, in my opinion, is decent business. 5 million only, definitely decent. We need to go out on Morgan Rogers. Sadly, we won't get him. Think realistically, we'll look like Kepa, Zubimendi, Sesko, and the left wing. And to be honest, I don't even know if we're gonna sign Zubimendi. Let's be real, because the talks about Zubimendi have gone hella silent in recent weeks. No, recently in the last week or so. Besides Zubimendi saying that he wasn't in the medicals, as many were reporting. He was sunbathing on the beach for national games for Spain and everything. Obviously, he's also in the Nations League final, so definitely that is playing a role right now. He was in the semifinal, got into the final to play against Portugal. That is also playing a role. But based on his interview as well, that after that, the talks have gone dead silent. Zubimendi to Arsenal. So there's the possibility, and there are also some conspiracy theories from Arsenal fans starting to come out just in general that he's more waiting for Real Madrid than he wants to come to Arsenal. He much rather would stay in Spain. I'm just putting it that. And most of the times, Chelsea buy players, win trophies. We bought their players. Yeah, it does, but it is what it is. Big up Eros. Big up Mikel. Music is in the house. Sesko getting closer. Let's go, Mr. Outside of the. Maybe that is the case. Maybe. And Zubimendi linked, exactly. He's linked with Madrid more than anything at the moment, not Arsenal. So that is also a different type of situation. And now it also now starts to raise the question. We don't get Zubimendi, for example. And actually, Partey agrees deal with Barcelona to go there. We are left without a 6 and a backup 6 in general, which means we need to sign at least one, if not two, actually, number 6s in general. And now that, again, puts us in a position where it will limit us signing somebody else. And that is hella pissing me off as well. I cannot deny. That is definitely pissing me off to the very big extent. Big up Boyton. Big up Boyton. It's over. We signed Kepa. It's over. Well, at least he's not the main goalkeeper. Let's just put it that way. Chelsea, Man City, United, they destroy us and we didn't get even to win big things. It is that way. But we need to hope that Arsenal maybe can change their ways. We could get Rodgers, just Arteta would destroy his career. That is a big thing about this, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if he would come. Knows what Arteta does to good players. Exactly. It's also, it's not a coincidence that all of a sudden certain links disappear out of nowhere. And mostly those are striker links as well. For example, if I was a striker, maybe on top of my game like Gyökeres, maybe if I was an up-and-coming striker, right? Not putting Sesko in here because it looks like that could get done. Looking at the history under Mikel Arteta at Arsenal regarding strikers, number 9s in general, it's a dark shadow realm you have to go into regarding Arsenal. Because Aubameyang went to left wing, played left wing back at the time. Won him the FA Cup, he gets binned. Lacazette at striker, plays number 6 half the time when he's old and we know that he cannot run so much at any given time. Then you look at the situation, young strikers. Following Balogun goes out on loan, then gets sold, doesn't get a chance in the main team. Same goes for Mika Birov, goes out on loan, hits bags of goals, then gets sold, doesn't get a chance in the main team. Chidobe Martin in the academy sees what happens in front of him. He just pieces the scene in general. Butler Oyedeji in the youth system doesn't get a kick, played 2-3 minutes the whole time. He's being left go for free. And when you look at the signings of a striker, Jesus, he's not a striker. He's more of a winger. Havertz signed as a midfielder. We put him at striker. We need a striker. What we do when Havertz is injured, we put our number 6 or number 8 in Merino up top. Like the striker situation overall under Mikel Arteta has been such a mess that I'm not surprised that certain striker links don't exist. I'm not surprised that they die pretty much very quickly. And the louder at some point certain players get talked about, the less of a chance there is that we are going to get them. I'm not surprised about that whatsoever as well. So if we look at those terms and in those situations, it genuinely is a very, very worrying fact, in my opinion. How y'all think why y'all think a lot of players reject this? It is like that. It is. They're scared of Arteta. Exactly. Yeah, Eras. Exactly. Mikel Music. Big up Hyper Protagonist. Hope you're doing well today, my guy. Jimmy Go already, Eddie sell, yeah, and the 6 Arteta. Arteta didn't even sell them. Salah-Eddin and his brother got left for free, and Salah-Eddin pretty much had some of the best stats in under 21 Premier League throughout the whole league, and we didn't sign him. We let him go for free. Same goes for his brother and some other midfielders. They are not even sold. They are let go for free. No money, no income, no profits, nothing whatsoever. It doesn't matter if Kepa isn't the main goalkeeper. Chelsea are taking 75 million loss on this player. They are, to be honest. He's obviously toxic as fuck to have a own dressing room. Maybe, but to be honest as well, like Kepa has survived about 10 managers, but it feels like a Chelsea. And none of the managers rated him, to be honest. He fell out with Sarri, then he didn't play. Next manager as well binned him instantly. They signed another striker, then they signed Sanchez, then they signed Jorgensen, then they signed Petkovic and everything, and he was instantly out of sorts as well. And in my opinion, Kepa should have never moved to Chelsea in the first place. He should have stayed at Athletic Bilbao. But hey, it is what it is, I guess. It is what it is. But also, maybe he has matured. There's also that whole, but we're gonna see. Obviously, at the end of the day, we're gonna see. It's been over for 21 plus years. To be honest, it's also not wrong. They're all scared of ruined by Arteta to run their life. Like many players, I can see that argument being made for. To be honest, I generally can see that argument being made for. They saw what they did to Obo, and that is the biggest inkling why. Even the academies, these guys destroyed. Exactly, the young players also don't get a proper chance. Solely underrated, but he could be good cover for Saka as well. Yeah, but it's the interesting part regarding Arsenal that we never go for certain players. We don't go for certain players that actually make sense in terms of Arsenal. We just go for players that, well, could work, not that they're going to actually work. That is the biggest thing, and that's what's the worrying part. And even if we go a player that should be working for Arsenal, like Mikel Arteta, don't go for them like, per se, going for a player that fits his system, and he makes the player to fit his system. He doesn't adjust the system to fit the player. He does it the other way around, which at the end of the day ruins the player and doesn't help the system at all because the system is not evolving, as Mikel likes to say the word evolve. The system is not advancing, it's not evolving, it's staying the same, which is arguably one of the worst things that can happen because as soon as it gets sussed out, which it has been for last year or so, you're done instantly. You can get nullified like that and nobody will do anything about it. And then you turn to corners, long throw-ins, the lap situations, and all this stuff. But yeah, in some random news, according to reports, Rafa Leao apparently wants to leave AC Milan. And the Italian club want at least 70 million for him, and that's about 64 million pounds. Now the question for you all, would you take Rafa Leao at Arsenal? That's the question for you all from me. Imagine the midfield of Rice, Ruiz, and Simon or Sunset. Oh man, I would love to have Sunset from Athletic Bilbao at Arsenal. Or even sign Alex Baena from Villarreal and play him as a 10. 100% I would. 100% I would. We are screwed. We could be, definitely. It doesn't even matter who we sign now. Well, depends. Because I'm just going to say this right now. If we sign Kepa, Sesko, and some random left winger and some random midfielder, we are cooked 100%. However, this window is salvageable. Let's be real. Kepa for backup goalkeeper, I'm cool with that. But if we don't sign Rodrygo, Sesko, and Zubimendi at least, we are cooked instantly. Because you cannot have signing these subpar, mediocre signings, and then you back it up with more subpar, mediocre signings, which we have done over the years. You need to have a ceiling raiser. You need to have an X factor. You need to have someone who genuinely blows the roof off instantly, like a B drop on a very sick tune and everything. You need someone like that. And unfortunately, Arsenal just don't sign one. Like, that is for me the biggest thing. Like, the way I look at this, at least. An attack, Rodrygo, Gyökeres, Saka. I think our attack next season, if we do things properly and we have actually some ambitions, our attack actually could be Rodrygo, Sesko, and Saka. I could see that. Yeah, Bayona too, exactly. Or Lookman. Yeah. Heard we are signing a new scout too. We are. We talked about it yesterday or 2 days ago. We are signing lead scout that used to be at Juventus, who at the time, before actually Huijsenhausen went to Bournemouth and everything, identified him for Juventus, who identified, I think, one of Yildiz and everyone like that. So he actually looks like to be somewhat decent too, from Atalanta too, yeah. Sag Berta, by the way, he let this Kepa deal happen. To be honest, no. I'm actually backing Andrea Berta on this one, ironically enough. I know it sounds weird, but Andrea Berta, there were talks about us signing Juan Garcia, right? 25 million, some add-ons and all this stuff. And then with Andrea Berta coming in, that talk instantly went dead silent from our end, right? And Andrea Berta insisted to the hierarchy that the money we would use on Juan Garcia would be used more efficiently on other positions. So in that regard, I totally back and understand Andrea Berta's decision. And if he actually provides us, if those 20 million we save from Juan Garcia and signing Kepa, right, as a backup, and we, for example, use that money to get Rodrygo, I'm all for it. I would not be mad about this. Yes, Kepa seems like a banter signing. Yes, Kepa is from Chelsea. Yes, he hasn't had the best times at Chelsea. But ultimately, at the end of the day, 5 million for a backup goalkeeper is smart business, especially if you save money and you can kind of move it to a different direction. Like, I know people like to think of me as a lot of doom and gloom, as a fake fan, too toxic, too negative, but I'm actually backing this signing to an extent. I'm not gonna genuinely turn the blind eye and let the fact that I want Arteta out and everything just take the best of me in that regard. Yes, to be honest, if we look at in these instances that we have signed about 50 goalkeepers under Mikel Arteta, that's a different story. That's already different. Big up Issa, big up. Another Chelsea reject again, Arteta having shares in Chelsea. I think Arsenal have shares in Chelsea club, not just Arteta, what it feels like. Happening at this club, transfer Chelsea rejects must be how many Chelsea rejects so far. We have signed, if I'm not mistaken, 7 out of 33 signings under Mikel Arteta have been ex-Chelsea or ex-City players. So that in general comes more than 20% of the signings. 20.4, if I'm not mistaken, 20.4% of the signings have been actually from there. So it is what it is, I get in that regard. Exactly, and yield is. Exactly. Eros, big up Eros. Bro, in all seriousness, my hats off to creators like you, Views, Waffle, BBK, Lee Gunner, etc. for talking about Arsenal, because I would have quit by now. To be honest, I would not blame you. Sometimes when I just look, especially, was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday or the day before. When I was at work, I think it was on Thursday. Day at work in the morning, I see Gyökeres going to United, Liverpool in for Sesko, Zubimendi wants Real Madrid, and all this stuff. And then we are linked with 45 million Karatsetas from Genk and everything. I was ready to get my tent, pack my bags, and go camping in the woods. No TVs, no signals, no phones, no internet, no nothing for the next 2 months until the season begins, and just go there with fresh start. I'm not gonna lie. At the same time, I kind of cannot walk away from this club. It's been 23 years as an Arsenal fan for me, so I just cannot. I genuinely cannot. Big up Pepper. Big up Pepper. Hope you're doing well. The move was not to sign any goalkeeper at all for 30 million, 5 million. We moved backwards. You could say that, but we need the backup goalkeeper. I strongly believe that our hierarchy doesn't believe in Hein, so he's going to get loaned out or sold. and I don't, and any youth goalkeepers, I get the promotion situation, but to have an 18-year-old, 19-year-old, 20-year-old just to drag around with no game experience also seems kind of stupid. Let's just put it that way. So if you promote him and loan him out, I'm all cool. If he plays for under 21s, I'm all cool. But to drag him around and just warm the bench, for me, that seems kind of illogical in that regard. We have like 4 or 5 more keepers. Why didn't we promote Setford or for Setford's too young? He plays for under 21s. He's too young. But again, that would not be smart in that regard. Arteta signed more goalkeepers than that winger did in 2 decades. Yeah, exactly. Arteta has signed, I don't even know, about 8, 9 goalkeepers. No, Arteta actually, yeah, he's been here 6 years old, 5.5 years, right? And he signed 10 goalkeepers. So that's on average 2 goalkeepers per season. Kepa have experience in different leagues and winner with different clubs. So as a backup, I'm not too fussed about it. Like, that's the thing. If we paid about 50 million for him, I would genuinely be there. I would be cancelled. Definitely. The deal is good though. 5 million smart, and we can save money for exactly. That is my point. I know there's the principle of Chelsea rejects and crap like that, but for 5 million, given that we wanted Garcia for 25, and that could have caused another Ramsdale Raya situation, which is evident that Arteta loves Raya too much. It's decent, in my opinion, at least. How do we know he's been signed as a backup? Well, that's been given him pretty much. And there are many, I think Ornstein said it or who, that he's been signed as a backup first things first. He understands the hierarchy at Arsenal, that Raya is number 1. And he is ready. If necessary, push comes to shove, he is ready to actually fight for the number 1 spot. But yeah, overall, he's willing to fight for the place. But he understands that Raya is number 1, and he's not going to be a starter. Kepa is 29. Goalkeepers do age with time. Kepa is goalkeepers do, big up my boss. Goalkeepers do age with time, but goalkeepers actually, get better. Usually they hit their prime in 28 to 33 to 35, arguably. So that is also the case. But yeah, Kepa is on 150 grand a week at Chelsea. That is the one thing. Apparently, he signed last year a new deal, and that apparently has made his salary drop a bit, right? But ultimately, yeah, helping them in terms of wages, yes, I get it. It's another mistake. Let's just say it as it is. At the same time, I would not say it's too bad. And to be honest, I'm not gonna lie. To be honest, Kepa re-signed the deal for Chelsea last summer, if you didn't know. And the big thing is his wages dropped. His wages dropped, and you cannot see this at all. Here we go. Kepa Arrizabalaga. See, his wages dropped to 75k. So from 150 to 75k, it's actually not too bad. I would not be too against it. If he wasn't about 70 grand, it's not too bad. For experienced Premier League goalkeeper that actually could give us some options and everything, it's actually not too bad. Let's just say it that way. Like, you cannot look at everything doom and gloom. I get there are reasons why, but you cannot always look at times when the glass is half full. You have to look at the half empty. You have to look at also at times to it as the glass is half full. Let's just put it that way. At least that's how I'm looking at this Chelsea signing. The dynamics are all wrong. If Arteta gets sacked this season, we are still screwed because Kepa is on the books and at training and at the locker room. Plus, if Odegaard, Zinchenko, Jesus Injusto, Lokonga, Tavares, Marquinhos, and the rest of the sold, we should have some more money to save up. Exactly. And let's be real. Tavares is also gone for 9 million to Lazio. Marquinhos has been sold already for 2.5 million to Cruzeiro. It's been all confirmed. Tomiyasu, we'll see what's going to happen. Lokonga is still up in the air. Jesus as well. So there are some that, yeah. Now, what you're talking about, Arteta sack will be the best. Yeah, that is the best. That is the best millions we can spend. Big up TK. What a day. We finally made a signing. Yes, we made a signing. Arsenal are back at it. We're going to win the league. We want to win the Champions League, Emirates Cup, Carabao Cup, FA Cup, Dubai Cup, MLS, Turkish League, and Chinese League. We're going to win it all. Silver for days, man. We should be. I know you're being sarcastic. I know. We've moved backwards. There's no justifying Kepa deal. Well, Arteta is not good enough. You will see the signings when City and Liverpool are now. Everyone knows that. Well, not everyone cannot say. Top Gunners definitely don't know that because they think they still think that Arteta is the second coming of Jesus. Let's be real. At Arsenal, so that is a completely different story. We've been saying for years Arteta is not good enough. We've seen this year in, year out, that it's specifically in the games that matter the most, but the people just decide to turn the blind eye, turn to not use any accountability for the manager or the players, and it's always somebody else's fault, including the bug that flew across the face of Odegaard when he took the penalty against Manchester United when we went out in FA Cup this season. Yep, AFTV and fanboys called, exactly. We helped Chelsea get, well, not that much, but I know we helped Chelsea in that regard. But it is what it is. As a backup, I'm not too fussed about it. Let's just put it that way. Yep, we're basically Chelsea back. We are. Like, no argument about that. We definitely are. Why you always taking Chelsea rejects? Well, I don't know. Go ask Arteta. He probably take it's a chance of evolving and closing the small margins or something like that. By Silver and the players. Could be. Because of Maresca and Xavi could win trophies with washed bars. It shows players ain't problems. It should exactly that is the case. Yeah, I fear that I will unsell David Raya. That could be the case, but we also don't need people who are way too comfortable in their positions, like Odegaard, for example. That is also one. And the glass has been broken with this Kepa deal. We can't even fill it halfway. I don't want to help Chelsea though. Yeah, that part I totally understand, TK. I totally understand. I hate the fact that it's a Chelsea player. Because if it was, let's just say, point per point, Bournemouth, Crystal Palace, Fulham, or whoever, I wouldn't give a crap, right? It's just the principle and the fact that it's a Chelsea player. Because we have bought so many draws from that club that it's genuinely sickening me to my core. At the same time, it's not the worst deal of the century, is it? It's not like Havertz deal. Next could be Neto at this point. Nah, Neto is piecing the scene. The Kai Havertz signing destroying everything as far as new deals and wages. Arteta should have never signed him. True, but it's Arteta and Jesus. Well, to be honest, signing Jesus wasn't a big issue. I am actually a big fan of Jesus. It's just the injury in the World Cup, and then Arteta rushing him back, so he gets another injury on the same knee. Then he gets a surgery. He comes back. Then he meshes up the other knee. That's what has ruined him. Obviously, putting him on such high wages from 90k to 270 pretty much. That is a sackable offense alone. Same it goes for Havertz. But yeah, Arteta could not even win the Turkish league. To be honest, you're right. I'm not gonna lie, you're right. Jesus is always injured, never been a fit for a full season, bro. Makes it seem. Yeah, that is the case. That one thing, and that's it. Rob, is that a Wizards practice top? Nope. That's not. No. I don't support those type of situations here, right? I much rather support the local C League team than go support Washington Wizards. Let's just put it as it is. He could have been even league one. He couldn't, definitely. I agree with people not being comfortable, but I want my goalie to have no distractions and not looking over shoulder. True. To be honest, two number one keepers, it's one of the biggest issues. How we have the Ramsdale Raya situation, and that genuinely turned out to be a mess. So if that happens again, it's again on Mikel Arteta, and he's screwing everything over in many ways, shapes, and forms. You remember? Yeah, exactly. I know. But to be honest, let's be real. Ramsdale didn't do himself any favors. We're talking about cannot focus, looking at the pigeons and all this stuff. Like, he didn't do himself any favors as well. One thing about Chelsea players, they get trained at a decent level. See, that's one way of looking at it. Rob, you don't understand. I bantered the shit out of Kepa and he ended at my club. Same with Havertz. See, that is the thing. And I am in the same boat as you, TK, by the way. Because I have laughed at Havertz missing from 2 yards out when he was at Chelsea. I've laughed at Kepa making the dumb mistakes. But our players have done the same, but we have them now. That is the biggest issue. And to be honest, think about it. How much we laughed at Lukaku when he was at United. If he comes to Arsenal, like, it's like in the cards. Hospital man, at this point, if he gets injured, doctors walk us again without knowing exactly. That is the issue. Yeah, see? We get one Chelsea player every year. We get even more than that, to be honest. We get more than that. But it's not great. Genuinely, it's not great. Is that a field hockey cover in the background? Where? Field hockey cover in the background. What? Where? Where? At this point, attrition for us, it's basically, that's what it is. It's a heritage thing. It's a new heritage for Arsenal. I hated Chelsea Havertz, not gonna lie, but when he was at Leverkusen, yeah, that is the biggest thing. When Havertz was at Leverkusen, I was hoping he signs, maybe Arsenal maybe sign him. Now that he has been to Chelsea and he's at Arsenal, nobody wants him whatsoever. The one on your left, what is this? One on your left. My left or your left? My left or your left? Because my left is this and your left is that. Because you're watching this other way around. My left, this? Which one? You mean this one? You mean that one? Oh, shit. You mean that one? I wanted Draxler when he was at PSG, not gonna lie. Kepa was born 65 kilometers away. Yeah, he has this thing and about the Basque players. Like, he has signed quite a few of them. Yeah, no, it's floorball keys, sticks, basically. There are 2 Salming ones and 1 Ozone or Unihawk one. I used to play floorball back in the day. Well, still, yeah, that's what he thinks. It's It's not a hockey stick. It's a floorball stick. Yeah. So yeah. Anyways, back to business at hand. To be honest, I kid you not, like, off topic a bit, I didn't just play floorball. I played floorball for 7 years. I played basketball for 8 years, football for 7 as well. And then in mix and match, chess for 5, badminton for 4, volleyball for 5, handball for 6, and all at the same time, mix and match type of situation. I've played a lot. Yeah, I don't think you have. You genuinely don't. It's more of a European thing. Let's be real, and it's not like it is worldwide, but not everywhere it's on a professional level. West attacking formation. Yeah, in double pivot, I think Arsenal could do. What position did you play in basketball? I was the shooting guard. I was sniper shooting guard. I was 3-point sniper, and I semi decent passer. Let's just put it that way. About who do you think would be best, Messi or Ronaldo? Wait, who do you think would be the best if Messi and Ronaldo didn't play football? Oh, bloody hell. Genuinely, Suarez, definitely at some point. Neymar would have won it 100% maybe at some point. There could be some of these. No, I'm not that old. Genuinely, I'm not that old. I'm not views. I'm not that old. Nice, you're watching? Yeah. I'm watching. I'm watching the finals. And I watch NBA when I can. Obviously, the time difference is a bitch, but it is what it is in that regard. Neymar or Ronaldo? As in for what? Mikel Arteta signing right now? Or Maradona? He wasn't alive when Messi and Ronaldo were here. What do you mean? What are we doing here right now? Anyways, we are getting sidetracked by this. Loki Suarez was him who won 1 golden boot in Messi and Ronaldo. Yeah, Suarez could have been him. 100% he could have been him. There are lots of people. Basically, there are lots of ball out players who have been in the shadow of Messi and Ronaldo for so long. You know, like Zlatan, like you could argue to some extent they were David Villa as well, and players like that. They definitely were in the shadows of Messi and Ronaldo, which is quite of a pain, but I'm happy that at least I got to experience some of the players, definitely. The NBA players have been great for the comebacks. Dude, Halliburton is just cooking everyone left, right, and center. I'm not gonna lie. Halliburton is on fire. After that voting where he said he's the biggest, well, not per se flop, but one of the worst players and everything, or the worst player and everything, he's been cooking so many clutch shots and everything. It's actually kind of nuts. It's actually kind of nuts. Kids nowadays say Benzema better than Prime Suarez. To be honest, one of the things I will say, Benzema is very underrated in a certain way. He basically gave up one of his biggest things, but one of arguably a big part of his career, just so Ronaldo could shine, Bale could shine, even Higuain to some extent could shine at Real Madrid. He definitely gave up a portion of his career where he could arguably be one of the best, even though he was already a top. Nah, as Renaissance man, more playing all types of sports. But you are old. I'm not that old. I'm genuinely not that old. If you think I'm 50, I will fly to DC and flick you in your ear. Chicago Bulls. And don't even start. For me, I'm Chicago Bulls fan. I've been Chicago Bulls fan since 2004, 5. Neymar should have that just like Thierry Henry should have. I'm F off with Golden State Warriors. To be honest, for Golden State Warriors used to play Andris Biedrinc. What a guy he was. What a guy he was. One of those ones. Couldn't shoot free throws to save his life, by the way. Just cause one Ballon d'Or people guys one plan. It's what it is though. Like it's like that. Never in my life. Genuinely never in my life. I rather chew a break for a week than do that. Marcin Gortat is Robo's favorite. Never. Never, never, ever, ever. Never. I much rather be an Andrew Bynum fan than Marcin Gortat fan. And if you know NBA, you just know how good Andrew Bynum was when he got drafted as a lottery pick in NBA. I'm not saying he isn't good, but why people disrespect players like Suarez, David Villa, to some extent Di Natale, Militao, Luca Toni, and players like that who have they never seen in their life or have seen just glimpses and they just don't know how good they were. Man has played named after him called the Gortatse. Yep. Michael Jordan GOAT, hands down, without shadow of a doubt. Thank you. Because we are such a mess. I cannot even believe. Like, I hope that with Karasinovas coming in, something would change like 5 years, 6 years ago, but nothing has changed. Still a mess. Zach LaVine, and everything. Like seriously, D Rose getting that ACL and everything just has ruined everything for me. With Noah, Luol Deng, and players like that. Steph Curry, Bear. You can tell when people haven't seen Jordan play. I'm not gonna lie, Ballon d'Or is more rated for. It's a talent show. Nah, Robo, you probably. Oh no, I'm not 28. Not 28. I'm not baby age as well. If you think I'm 2, I'm sitting here and talking like this, I should be in Harvard or being in like rocket engineer. Saddest player was Lamar Odom. Like Bynum too, dude. Lamar Odom, what a player. Shame he got to get ruined. I blame the Kardashians. Mabas, you already know Gortat is a legend, dude. To be honest, Gortat had some brilliant games, I'm not gonna lie. The way he got spun by Steph as well, dude. Thoughts of Lonzo Ball? Like, I'm not gonna lie, I was somewhat excited when we signed him and everything, together with Zach LaVine, together with Williams and everyone. I thought something would change, but nothing has changed. Plus, he's so injury prone and everything. It's just. It's pain. Let's just put it that way. LeBron is the GOAT, bro. It's simple. No chance in hell. Yeah, Joakim Noah. Yeah. He was the one. Carlos Boozer, dude. The days. Carlos Boozer, Kirk Heinrich, and them, man. D Rose before the injury, youngest MVP in the league and everything. Yeah. And y'all wonder why people barely watch football. Again, people nowadays, people overrating players. They do that, but at the same time, some of them deserve it. Jeff Gunn, Lonzo's brother, LaMelo. Yeah, LaMelo is balling out. Yeah, but the thing about LaMelo, he's in the worst, like shit team. Like that's a different story. Like the going to Charlotte Hornets, that not Charlotte Hornets, that's a complete different disgrace. I would much rather prefer that they stayed Charlotte Bobcats. That was a funny name to say at least. That's the only good thing that was there good about Charlotte. In prime football, who had to defend against Maldini, Nesta Vidi. Depends. Genuinely depends. Anyways, we are getting hella sidetracked here, you know? Let's look at this, because this is for all the top gooners, and we need to discuss this. Real Madrid released the new kit, right? It's better than being Orlando Magic or Sacramento King. Dude, at least you have one stuff, you know? Orlando Magic, to be honest, with Dwight Howard, Shaquille O'Neal, and everything. The recent draft picks have been a hit and miss at times, but the core that Orlando has right now, if they can manage to keep them, add like trades or free agency, plus maybe draft another one good, I would say, Sarri even potentially. Orlando could be a force to reckon with. It's been a long time since Orlando has been a dominant force, but looking at how they have built everything with Banchero and everyone, it looks hopeful. Let's just put it that way. Don't gonna get ahead of myself. Big up BBK Sports. Big up. Go subscribe to BBK Sports and listen to him. If you haven't, hit the like, subscribe if you're new, leave your thoughts in the live chat. And by the way, we have for the last 20 minutes genuinely talked about NBA, not Arsenal, which is kind of nuts, but it is what it is. Blame your goat for LaMelo. To be honest, I'm not gonna lie. As great as Michael Jordan is, and for me he's the GOAT, his talent ID and management is genuinely bum-ass, to say the least. Jose Rodriguez was him, yeah, but injuries and the fact that he played instead of Ronaldo's position. MJ knows talent, or mind him getting LaMelo. He knows talent, but if he knew actually talent, wouldn't Bobcat, fuck's sake, Charlotte be a better team by now? It's like, it is what it is. Which team is Pelicans? That boy done scammed NBA career. To be honest, like his weight issues and everything. By the way, anyone seen Luka Doncic like has lost about like it feels like about 50 pounds and now looks hella ripped and everything? Like, what's that about? Yeah, Orlando's the big city appeal, it's different. But if you manage to do some things, if you manage to keep your salary cap somewhat decent and sign the proper players, you actually could get some job done. Like this year, obviously, Celtics were a bum ass in playoffs and everything. But if they manage to do things properly, you actually could be a force. And now looking the fact that Jason Tatum has Achilles, he had a surgery, so he's out. Porzingis, go figure what it looks like he's gonna get traded. Well, although there are some talks about Jaylen Brown potentially being traded, and the fact that salary cap is gonna hit Boston hard, there will be some massive casualties potentially this summer for them. None of this makes any sense to me, but interesting to hear about talking about something else, not Arsenal. To be honest, I'm not pissed talking about anything else. It's just Arsenal that winds me up to my core. No, I'm here for the NBA talk. This Arsenal shit. It is. By the way, I just wanted to say, Real Madrid released their new kits, right? And Rodrygo was not seen in them. And many Arsenal fans are suggesting the fact that since he's not in the pictures, he could be on the move, right? And it is backed up by a bit by the fact that obviously we all know that Rodrygo was being courted a bit by what's its face, by Chelsea and Man City. It doesn't look like Man City are interested. Chelsea are signing Gittins. So that means Arsenal potentially could have a free run at Rodrygo. That's all I wanted to say. I'd rather listen to this than Arsenal at this point. I get it. I totally get it. To be honest, it's kind of fun talking about NBA for a change. Like, because in my life, I have nobody, like genuinely nobody who cares about sports. And I have nobody to talk to about sports in general. Not NBA, football, nothing. And it's kind of nice so I can chat here. Ronaldo was breaking my house recording on in Barcelona, like it. Yeah, you barely see play. Like it is what it is. We are winning it all next season when we get Miles Turner. Wait. TK, who are you a fan of? I'm genuinely confused. Lakers? But it looks that way. Doncic got on LeBron's PED cycle. It looks like Doncic has lost quite a bit. He looks more mobile, more agile. And only thing Doncic needs to learn is how to play defense. Because I think that is one of the biggest things for Lakers in general. Half the team doesn't play defense. And if Doncic doesn't play defense, you're kind of screwed. I'm not gonna lie. You have no legs. Big up, Hendon. Big up. Hope you're doing well today. You are a bit late, but we are talking about NBA in recent times. You barely see a winger single-handed does destroy 5'6" Denver. You see it a lot, to be honest. Havertz looks ripped because he's skinny, low body fat. Exactly. Havertz has a ripness, right, man? Dude. Prime John Cena, prime Randy Orton, Undertaker. Yeah. Yeah, Lakers. Yeah. I see. Bleeding purple and gold. You could do an NBA show. Not many good NBA channels out there. To be honest, regarding NBA channels, if I watch only one in general. I have a secondary channel where I want to post NBA content, but I just don't have time to stream, make NBA videos, to upload and do everything. I genuinely just don't have time. If I would have an extra hour in my day, I would. Seriously. I have a secondary channel specifically designed for NBA. There are 2 videos up there, but I just don't have time, unfortunately. I only and if you are interested, I only watch genuinely. I only watch NBA wise. I only watch the show where I forgot what's its name now. Is on top of my head. Where basically there are 4 guys. There's King of the Four Core, Kenny Beecham. There is D Mills. There is what's its face now, Big Stacks, and everyone. They talk about NBA and discuss it. Like that is the only show I watch. But, like I don't know. They used to have Through the Wire podcast, and now it's called Behind the Numbers or something like that. Yeah, Behind the Numbers, I think it is, right? No, it's not Behind Numbers. I forgot what it's called. Genuinely, wait. Let me find this now that you have gotten me riled. Or no, Numbers on the Board. Here it is. Numbers on the Board. If you're interested, there is Pee Wee, there is D Mills, and everyone. They just talk about NBA in general. Like that's just for my boss if he's interested. I watch this as an NBA type of thing only. Genuinely. Big up, why not? Hope you're doing well today. I'm sorry, I don't really watch NBA. I only watch football, cricket, and wrestling. I get it. I watch wrestling as well when I have the time and everything. I totally get it. Anyways, since Chelsea are getting Giddens, by the looks of things, 7-year deal and everything, another prison sentence, you could argue. Apparently, there are talks that Arsenal could have a free pass at Rodrygo if he decides to leave, which arguably is great news because for me, to save this window, genuinely to save this window, signing a Rodrygo is a must. Rodrygo level type of signing is a must. Even if we sign Sesko, even if we sign Zubimendi, the left wing spot, signing Sane and Lookman, although I'm all for signing Lookman, right? But for me, you need to have a marquee signing that genuinely sets everything alight, that basically makes the fireworks go wild and everything. And for me, that is Rodrygo. So that is my hope, at least. That genuinely is my hope. I don't watch the NBA, but I got into NBA again when the Ball family drama was back kicking off. Dude, it's just stupid. I'm not gonna lie. That LeVar Ball and everything is just stupid thing. Doing it for the clicks and money and everything. People like drama. That's why they attract to it. Puts more eyes on the board and everything. So I get it. I totally get it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna put it against you. I totally get it. In other news, there are some news that Arsenal apparently are genuinely back in terms of talking with a certain player. Is this guy Gittich just fast, or is he really skilled? He has the abilities. But I think he's too young at the moment. At least for me, he's 20 years old. He looks like a very bright talent potentially for the future. For Chelsea, he's perfect, especially if Chelsea get rid of Sterling. They want to get rid of potentially also Sancho and everyone. Signing him could be somewhat decent. I'm not gonna lie. Chelsea hand out 7 years lower wages, increased job player security. That allows them to pay a bit less. It gives a chance, and if they prove them good, they can sell them if needed for a bigger value as well. Someone on my Twitter says that Rodrygo is a good boy with no attitude, and that's why Tete is interested in him. Would you agree with this? No idea. Genuinely no idea if he has good attitude or not. But to play for Real Madrid, you need to have some sort of an ego and some sort of ability. Let's be real, and to be one of the main guys as well to some extent. So for me, Rodrygo definitely would be a nice addition to Arsenal. Because for me, on that left wing, he would fit into our team to a T, to say the least. He would actually be, arguably, for me, the perfect winger we can sign since Kvaratskhelia is off the market. That is the case. But yeah, but it doesn't stop there. We are back at it again. Mohamed Kudus. We are back in for Mohamed Kudus, apparently. Yeah, I found this to be a bit bizarre comment, but that is the thing. There are those things, definitely. Arsenal are considering a move for Mohamed Kudus. 80 million, though. That doesn't strike me good, does it? Newcastle and Chelsea are also interested. Kudus wants to stay in Europe, preferably in the Premier League. I totally get that. I totally get that from his side. The thing is, though, one of the biggest things, Kudus has 80 million release clauses, apparently, if he moves to another Premier League side. Which I get it, good move from West Ham to some extent, right? The thing is, though, 80 million, if we're willing to pay that, why not take the 20 million you just saved from signing Kepa, not signing Juan Garcia, and you go sign Rodrygo? Why not? That, for me, is the biggest thing, because Kudus arguably doesn't even resolve our left wing situation. Think about it. Like, serious talk. I don't think this Ancelotti is a man to tolerate. He doesn't. He just puts them in the place instantly. And to be honest, Ancelotti is such a person who, just by his looks, can put a player in his place. So they don't actually dare to pipe up whatsoever. Like, Ancelotti strikes me that type of situation. Anyone watch the Brazil's first game, by the way, against Venezuela? It was a 0-0 draw as well. Has clutch moments. Exactly. Rodrygo actually has the clutch moments. And now that's the thing. For me, if we sign Kepa, okay, cool. But if we sign, let's just say, Kepa, Zubimendi, Sesko, and Rodrygo, that Rodrygo signing actually raises Arsenal 100% without shadow of a doubt. For me, that is kind of a obligation to sign a player Alexis level, Ozil level type of hype up their signing. 100%. For me, that is a must. Arsenal don't make sense. Oh, big up like thief, big up, and you don't have to tell me anyone that, because if it makes sense, Arsenal won't do it. Let's be real. So Ecuador, sorry, my bad. I'm holding my hands up. I thought it was Venezuela. My bad. They played Ecuador, but still 0-0. They didn't even score. Kudus payment options would be more suited to cheapstake Arsenal. You would think that, but remember what happened with Rice? We could have gone him for much cheaper as well. Let's be real. I would say we could have saved about 20-odd million, but we didn't. We allowed Man City come into equation, raise the price, and we then paid 15 million more than Man City offered and everything. So we then structured the payment into 3 or 4 quarters and everything. It was big up, AJ. Hope you're doing well today, my man. 18 likes. Let's push for 20. If you haven't already, please do me a favor and like the stream. Let's push for 20. We've been getting 20 more likes consistently in the recent 3-4 streams, if I'm not mistaken, and that is quite fantastic to see. Hopefully, if you haven't, please like the stream. Subscribe if you're new as well. On top of that, so please, it would help a lot. Road to 1K is going strong. And if you have any thoughts about Arsenal in general, leave them down in comments below in the live chat, obviously, right now. Imagine Rodrygo wages up front, fee scares most likely, because how much Rodrygo is not on that much, I think, at Real Madrid, is he? Because where is it? La Liga salaries, Hala Madrid. Let's look at this. I hate this big window. I need to remove it. Hala Madrid. Let's look at this share. Hala Madrid. Let's move to pounds instantly, so we don't have to dilly-dally with conversion rates. Now let's zoom in a bit. With 200 is a bit too much. Here we go. Rodrygo is. There we go. Oh, my bad. 150. Rodrygo is on £202,000 a week, which, to be honest, is not that bad. Like, if you talk about Arsenal, it's not that bad. He would most likely get about 250, first things first, which is not bad given that we pay Odegaard 240. Let's be real. Rodrygo, at least, deserves the 250 or 260. I would think that. I would at least like to think that. On the exorbitant wages we pay underperforming and useless players. Exactly. But Rodrygo, like, I would justify paying Rodrygo 250, 260 as well, in that if the push comes to shove. I don't like Kudus drop off. Like, if we could have signed him for 40 million when we had the chance, I would be all cool. But now to pay double that is a travesty and a half, in my opinion. 650 subs. Big up to everyone who has subscribed today and who subscribed yesterday and over the days and over this time, because been streaming for almost a year and 1 month, and it's quite phenomenal how far we have gone together. I'm not gonna lie. Road to 1K is on massively. Hopefully we can get there before the 25-26 season starts. Big up Cornell. Hope you're doing well today. And by the way, on an unrelated topic, if you haven't already, please go check out my YouTube short error list today. If you haven't already, drop a like, a comment, and everything. Personally, I would much rather sign Judd Bowen than Kudus. I would too. I don't think we will, like, in that regard. We can't about money. We look like we pay good. Exactly, that is the biggest thing. We play so much to Jesus and to what's its face to Havertz, and it's actually travesty and a half now. Genuinely travesty and a half. One thing I wanted to check: Arsenal salaries. Is the salary updated on Arsenal, or is Gabriel still on 100K? No, it's still on one. You see, Gabriel just signed a new deal. He used to be on 100 grand. It's still not updated, by the way. So we have to wait and see what's gonna happen there. We have to wait and see how much we're gonna get for him, how much he is gonna get. Like, seriously. Other stuff. Samo Marodion is linked with Newcastle, Villa, and Chelsea, apparently, and he has 100 million release clauses from Porto. Good luck with that, morons. Kingsley Coman is leaving Bayern Munich for free as well, like on some random news. So there could be something to it potentially. Maybe. I hope Arsenal don't, but hey, you never know. In other news regarding Arsenal, it's not too much. It's genuinely nothing too much. Like Kate Norrie has signed for City, Ginnens, Osimhen, and everything. So there's nothing regarding Arsenal, I'm not gonna lie. So if you have any other topics you want to discuss, I'm gonna be live for about 10 minutes, more or less, a bit more, right now. So definitely, if you have anything you want to discuss, go right ahead, whether it's NBA or what. I don't mind, I'm not gonna lie. Semenyo would be nice. I get it, but for me, the biggest thing is, can certain players make the jump? Like, there are so many good players, right, in the league and everything, but they are good for example, smaller teams, right? Your Palaces, your Bournemouths, and teams like that. Many players, when they sign for a bigger team, they just cannot make that jump. Like, they might be good in the small team because they're their best and they play a certain style, and when they move to a bigger team, it absolutely annihilates them and they disappear. For example, Calvin Phillips from Leeds to Man City was the prime example. He was so good at Leeds, phenomenal. He was also very decent for England. As soon as he moves to City, doesn't fit the system, doesn't fit the style, bang, injuries, disappears. And there are so many of those. Like, that is one of, for me, the biggest things. That's why I, for example, want to sign Rodrygo, because he's proven that he can do it on the top level, on the biggest stages of them all. So Arsenal, and we need a left winger, so definitely that would fit in very, very nicely. Big up Hammers Football TV, big up. Hope you're doing well. Thoughts on Kudus potentially linked with Arsenal and everything? Would you sell Kudus to us? Obviously, you would for 80 million, but maybe for less. Maybe for 40 or something like that. You know, special price for you, my friend, and all this stuff. You know how this goes, especially after the rise, which pissed you off to the maximum core and everything. And everything. But in serious note, big up Hammers Football TV. If you haven't already, go subscribe. Top content, top panels always there, top discussions and everything. Big up to you all. Big up to everyone. Look at what we pay Tomiyasu and Calafiori. Exactly. Calafiori is like, what, 120, 130. Tomiyasu is 100K. It's madness. Calafiori was on 12K per week at Bologna. Now he's 120. Yeah. Kivior was on 2.5 grand, 2,500 at Spezia. And now he's at what? 58,000. Zinchenko was on 20,000 at City. Now he's on 150. Jesus was on 90,000 at City. Now he's on 265. Like 3-4 times salary increase everywhere. It's just utter disgrace. If you don't have the pool, you just pay them over the odds. And that's what Arsenal have done. His agent would ask for 29's wages. I have no problem with paying him 300, but imagine Sesko and Gyökeres agents asking the same. That is the biggest thing. I don't think, the one thing though, Sesko's agent doesn't have the merits to ask him that, does he? Because Sesko has done well in his career, quote unquote, well, nothing. So there is, you could make argument for that, but they definitely will ask about 150 to 200. I would assume so, at least. I watch your shows most days, man. Big up to you. Big up, big up, big up, big up, big up. Thank you for that as well. Big up. Never thought anyone would return to watch my sorry ass to mumble about Arsenal, well, and NBA, but we have done today. So yeah. Yeah, big up Tony Hammers. 8 Nori deal just been agreed with Wolves. City on the rebuild. Yeah, and the way City are signing players like Reinders, Cherky, now 8 Nori, they're still looking at Livramento and some other players. It looks like Pep is kind of trying to ditch the inverted crap as well, by the way. It looks like he's going to pack the midfield with Foden, with Cherky, maybe with Doku or someone like that, or Marmoush. And then he's going to use overlapping, sometimes inverting, but mostly overlapping wingbacks. And then with Haaland up top, with 8 Nori overlapping and everything. And it genuinely looks like it could be the case that Pep is also shifting away. Because when you watch over the footballing world, the inverted possession style is also starting to disappear quite massively. And it's very nice to see, because people are trying to hit on counters a bit more. They're playing quick transition type of football, more attacking one, hence how also to a very big extent with a bit of a high press, PSG absolutely annihilated Inter and won the league, Champions League, just like Liverpool did as well in Premier League. Like, it's kind of nuts, I'm not gonna lie. Everyone's being up to everyone, you love to see. What's your opinion on Sane? Oh, bloody hell. If we get rid of Martinelli and Trossard, I would take Sane as a backup. Only as a backup. As the main guy, no chance in hell, especially if he wants like 200 grand a week. Overall, I don't want Sane. 100% I don't. However, as a backup, I would entertain idea, but provided we get a proper left winger. At the same time, if he wants ludicrous money, no chance in hell. Yeah, by the way, are you getting Ramsdale? Are you? You want to get relegated? You're eager to getting relegated or something like that? Always could be mad. Not sure if I'm gonna get there. Sanchez with Chelsea, rumor with Kudus. Oh, you're trying to do a swap deal, Sanchez? Oh, well, yeah. Fabianski is let go. You have Areola. You kind of need another goalkeeper. To be honest, Sanchez also is not the best option for you. Looking how he does at Chelsea. Thinks whether it's always Saliba with certainty we ain't winning this season, and no contract being signed on Madrid calling. Yeah, that for me is the biggest thing. Like what I've seen, that Saliba came out with the statement a few days ago saying next season we are going for the league, no excuses, no nothing. Kind of I look at it as the way as he's sending a hidden message to Arteta. Either you win Premier League or Champions League next season, or I am walking into the boardroom after next season and I'm handing in transfer request. And looking at how much actually Real Madrid wants Saliba, it's gonna be long, because they are just waiting for that situation. Either Saliba has in transfer request where they can offer less because Arsenal now are forced to sell him, or they're gonna wait him until he leaves for free in 2 years. That's how it looks, at least from my point of view. Where am I in the chat? How did I lose this? How did I lose this? Here we are. Arsenal can only give fans hope, but that's the end of this. But that's the only deal. They only give hope. Genuinely only give hope. Every single year, be excited. Be on alert. Arteta is on fire for this guy. We are doing this. We are doing that. War chest. Everything. Avengers assemble and everything. And in the end, all we do is put Dookie in our pants and sign Sterling on deadline day. If we don't get Ramsdale, there's better options. Oh, 100%. And much cheaper ones as well, to the matter of fact. As well, 100%. Arteta out. I get it. It kind of says it in the name, doesn't it? Hammer, irons, West Ham. Come on, man. Be respectful as well. Saliba needs to raise his level too if he wants to get us over the line. True, I think the fact that Gabriel wasn't there, he kind of also shit the bed quite a bit. The confidence was gone. I think for Saliba to be the best what he can be, he needs Gabriel by his side. Because Saliba cannot afford to be fully himself when there also isn't Gabriel, who kind of cleans up his mess at times. Hence why I strongly believe that for last year and a half, Gabriel has been our best defender, and he should have won for me still, despite the injury, arguably, player of the season for Arsenal. Declan Rice was first, Saka was second, and who was third? I already forgot. Genuinely, that's how much I care about this. Raya was third, and no Timber, no Gabriel, no nothing. His second half of the season was shambles. Yeah, absolutely. As soon as Gabriel went, Saliba went as well, and not in a good way. Your chats are tagged as spam on you. What? Why? Who did that? Who tagged him as spam on YouTube? If 5 or 6 signings are made, something might happen. A striker on the main property, though, and had a winger in the camp. We need a lot. We need 5-6 players, 100%. But Arsenal don't do 5-6 players a window. That's the thing. I can see us signing 3 and a loan. That's how I see it. I don't see us signing 5-6 players, especially given the fact about 4 gonna leave. We need 5-6 players coming in because we need more players than we had last year, especially given that it was pretty much evident this season that Mikel Arteta doesn't trust his own bench, the same players he has signed and promoted from the youth team. It was very, very evident. Big Kevin, you can Gabriel first. For me, Gabriel is first. Raya is second. Timber is third. And Rice is fourth. And Partey is fifth. That's how I see it. No, cool pants, man. Dude. Hey, cool pants, dude. No, I don't. I don't do yoga. I just train in general. I don't do yoga. That's not my thing. Let's just put it that way. I do simple stretching, but that doesn't count as yoga, does it? But yeah, screw loan, sign free agents. Like David is still available. Like why we are not looking at Jonathan David even as a backup option? That's also a big thing. But yeah, looking at everything, how Arsenal are doing things, it's looking pretty damn long so far. It's looking long, and it's looking very, very dangerous overall. Signing Kepa for 5, I'm not like, how to say this? Signing Kepa for 5 million is a good deal of business. 5 million, okay, cool. Because we wanted to spend 25 on Juan Garcia. However, the principle that we have signed another Chelsea reject pisses me off to my core. That's I'm going to say on Kepa only, because this is the last time I'm speaking on this. However, Kepa is not enough. Let's be real. If you save 20 million in that way, you better put those 20 million extra to proper use and sign a proper striker, proper left winger, proper midfielder, proper players. Because if we sign Kepa and then we sign Sane and then we sign Sesko and something like that, you might as well forfeit the season right now. I'm just going to put it right there. Because we are not doing anything. Top 4 at best. Top 4 at best if we sign Kepa, Sesko, Sane, and maybe Zubimendi. Because that talk also has gone grave silence in Zubimendi's comments that he doesn't know what he's going to do and that it looks like he's waiting more for Real Madrid and Xabi Alonso than anything. Arsenal is the gift that keeps on giving. Yeah, Santa Claus settings daily, by the way. I don't get this accounting nonsense. Well, David at the bench against Villa Bournemouth. Yeah, exactly. Newcastle should have never beaten us so many times. Dude, Newcastle last season. It's been pain. Like, Hull has fully figured him out. Supposedly, we got to wait till next month, so that counts on a different set of accounts. Yeah, but that counts for example, Zubimendi allegedly counts for Sociedad for another set of accounts. For us, FFP, PSR, we can spend about 250 million with no worries about those issues, according to the accountants and all these money pinchy saving people and all this crap. We can spend that. We just are not spending it, which is the nuts part in all of this. Wash City smacked them 4-0 and we beat 5-1 with no sack. Well, it is what it is. But yeah, it's been fun, guys. I'm not gonna lie, it's been fun. I think I'm gonna end it here. We have discussed most of the things that I wanted to discuss. We had a nice 20-minute chat about NBA as well, which is quite fantastic because it was a nice change of pace, and you all saw how nice it was, to be honest, not talking about Arsenal. I know some of people maybe didn't get anything because they don't watch NBA, but the ones that do, the ones that follow, it was nice to chat about it. It was nice to chat about it. Yeah, we beat City Trophy, guys. We beat Madrid twice, guys. What a trophy. We finished second 3 times in a row. What a trophy for bloody Arsenal. But yeah, on that note, I think I'm going to end today's stream. So if you haven't already, please do me a favor, subscribe, hit the like button and everything. Leave your thoughts down in comments below. What if you're watching this as a playback? Have a nice evening. Take care. Enjoy your Saturday. See you all tomorrow. Maybe Arsenal are going to do something. And as I said, if you haven't already, please do me a favor and go check out the YouTube short I uploaded today. Have a nice evening. Peace.